Chocks and Chockettes down in between Chocolate here for another video review. It's the Ferrero Rocher Golden Eggs. Yes, creamy hazelnut experience, and why not? Yeah, look at that, wow. Yeah, so basically, yeah, funny one this one. Ferrero did do a sort of range of mini eggs last year and the year before with a hazelnut filling and a sort of chocolate filling as well. Looked to be kind of basically Ferrero Rocher branded, but actually weren't, and these ones actually are. So they still do the other ones. I've seen at least one of them anyway in the shops recently, but they do these as well, and they do them in different chocolate types. They've got the dark chocolate one as well, which I'll be reviewing shortly, and they've also got the white chocolate one also. So yes, seem to be following the same templates as their chocolate bar versions they did of Ferrero, which I just so happen to have here. So you got the the white chocolate one, the dark chocolate one, and the regular one as well. So yeah, so it seems to be doing a thing, I think is the gist of it. But yeah, don't know what to make of it. Very interesting. Good that they're doing it all of a sudden. It seems, Ferrero Rocher has generally been a sort of very posh treat. And if you remember those adverts from the 80s, 90s about the ambassador coming out with a big pyramid of Ferrero Rochers, and someone saying, "Ambassador, with these Ferrero Rochers, you're really spoiling us," in a very dubious French accent. Or at least it would be if I tried to do it. So they've been very upmarket, very seen as something very special, I think. And these eggs as well, they are quite expensive. I'm sure these are like £3 odd. Now, I've only seen them in Co-op, and thanks to Andrew Winton for putting me onto these, by the way. Thank you so much. I had a bit of a traumatic experience getting the original ones, because basically I didn't realise there was at first, for whatever reason, I didn't come to my head that there was going to be a milk white and dark versions of them. So I basically got the dark and the milk versions, and then realised, there must be a regular one as well, because of the fact that they're clearly, following in the footsteps of these bars. And the other ones were labelled dark and white, so I thought, they must have done a regular one as well. Basically I went back to get them, and basically I did grab one, but there was one, this was at the front, so I thought, well, I won't get the front one in case one's manhandled it or whatever, so I'll get the one behind it. I got the one behind it. It turned out to be another dark chocolate one, so they were misfiled basically. So I had to go all the way back and get it again, just for this specific thing. And it wasn't, the Co-op nearest to the other one I went to was not too close basically, and then there was temporary traffic. Anyway, I had a massive ordeal of an experience. Was it worth it? Well, we'll find out today, won't we? Fingers crossed. Well, of course it's worth it, because I get to review it one time, but you know what I mean. Whether the taste was worth it. So, yeah, so it's very interesting. I mean, don't know, the egg's a bit of a funny one. It looks to follow the sort of rough shape of the cup, Ferrero Rocher cup, sort of, but a bit more elongated at the top. And the regular Ferrero Rocher seems to be trying to follow the shape of it there to an extent. Now, it doesn't look like to have it's got a whole hazelnut in there, it just looks to have chopped hazelnuts. Maybe purists will be a bit disappointed with that. I mean, it could easily have a full hazelnut in the middle. I mean, maybe it does. Let's see what it says on the back. What does it say? It says milk chocolate covered eggs with a hazelnut and cocoa filling. So there's no actual whole hazelnut in the middle of this, which I think is disappointing, I think. I think Ferrero Rocher fans would be expecting a whole hazelnut in the middle of this. And there's no reason it couldn't have one. So I think that's a bit disappointing. What's the ingredients? Milk chocolate 60%. Gives you a few things on there. Anything of interest? Hazelnut 7%. Fat reduced cocoa. And there you go. Cocoa size 41% minimum, milk size 17% minimum. So quite a strong chocolate there, 41%. Not bad. Could almost argue it might be a dark milk almost, maybe. I don't know what the threshold for dark milk is. But that's quite high cocoa size percentage now anyway. But yeah, I can't see any palm oil in there. I might have missed it, but I can't. Oh, no, there is. Yeah, there is palm oil. Look at that. There we go. Palm oil. Alright. Typical price per 100 grams. 574 calories, so well above the 500 to 550 that chocolate products tend to have from my experience doing reviews on this channel. 37.9 grams of fat, 20.1 of which are saturates. Ferrero dresses and stuff like that. 90-gram bag, so in a cool, dry place. A luxurious creamy hazelnut filling with hazelnut and crispy wafer pieces surrounded by a fine milk chocolate shell creates a unique Ferrero Rocher taste experience. Ferrero Rocher, so you can see there. Also available in dark and white chocolate. There we go, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think that was the other clue as well. When I think I did look on the side, and of the dark one, Lord of the Rings there. It says also available milk and white chocolate. So that was the other giveaway as well. So yeah, very interesting, these ones. I think the wrapping looks a bit, I don't know. It looks a bit gaudy, I think, actually. I don't know, I don't know. Now the green seems to, we were discussing this thing in one of the lives the other day, maybe in Stash Watch, I think. Just what, the colour for hazelnut seems to be green. That seems to be the colour for hazelnuts. I don't know if it's necessarily a UK clarification, but definitely in mainland Europe it seems to be green for hazelnut. I mean, UK green tends to be mint, but Ferrero, Lindt, you know, various other companies. Was there another one? Does green for hazelnut? I can't think what it was. And I'm sure I reviewed. Had something with hazelnut in. I can't think what it was. Oh yeah, the Galaxy Truffles, that was it. It's Galaxy Truffles with hazelnut as well. Yeah, here they are. So got these Galaxy Creamy Truffle Mini eggs. Now I thought these were mint when I first saw them, but you can see the hazelnuts. So not quite as vivid a green, but yeah. So there you go. Well, I would have said that Galaxy was... It feels more like a UK product really, doesn't it, than mainly a European one, but there we are. So there we go. So that's hazelnut for you. So yeah, I think we need to perhaps get into these, give them an open, see what they're about. I mean, there's lots of empty packaging here. It's full of air as well. And does it say how many servings are particularly in a pack? Ironically says may contain eggs. But there we go. Almonds as well apparently. Yeah, doesn't seem to say that. I can see easily how many eggs there's typically in a pack. Sometimes they do say, but I can't see it here very easily. A bit disappointing, but we'll count anyway, won't we? Yeah, so there we go. So yeah, I think there's lots of empty space, as I say, full of air, so it's hard to squeeze it down to see just how much is empty. But we can turn it upside down and see there that there's a lot of empty gappage there through that window. You can see. You know what I mean? So quite a lot, and obviously there's a crimp at the top, crimp at the bottom. So it's almost half empty, you'd say. That's always a good way of finding out how empty they are, by turning them upside down like that if they've got a window. We get to see, I mean, look at that. That is ridiculous, isn't it? Alright, well, I think we need to give this an open and have a look at them on the inside, so let's do it. Let's give them an open. Right, okay then everyone, going to give these original Ferrero Rocher golden eggs an open. Yeah, creamy hazelnut experience, it says. Yes, there we are. So they look very interesting, these ones. So you can see through the window there, seem to be stylised on a Ferrero Rocher, and even on the design there. Obviously a bit more egg-shaped. I wonder if the... I don't think they will be egg-shaped, will they? But, you know, good arguments, maybe it's an egg in an egg cup there, but yeah, maybe going to be a bit spurious there, but there we are. Alright, so let's give these an open then. So time recording, I've done about... How many have I done? Pretty much 1,000 reviews, believe it or not. So if you like this video, please click the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. In the top right hand corner, I'll put a link to place to all my other reviews. Let me get into these. As well as some related ones. There's some mini egg ones, Easter ones, Ferrero ones. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so hazelnut ones maybe. So after you watch this one, go check this out. Hope you enjoy those too. Alright, there we go. So not too many in here. Nice Ferrero Rocher smell, I must say. So how many have we got? We've got 10. 10 eggs there. 10 eggs. Look pretty good. Got like I think they look quite nice actually. They look quite. I think I like the wrapper. I like the way the thought's gone into it. I think it looks quite interesting. Looks like a Ferrero Rocher to an extent. You know, I think if you saw, well, I mean, it says Ferrero Rocher on it, doesn't it? But, but I think if you saw these, not across the room, but maybe from a few metres away, you'd say, oh yeah, they look Ferrero Rocher-like. What are they about? And you'd go up and see them. Sometimes the wrappers, like for instance the, you know, Galaxy Truffle ones, they weren't that inspired really, but these ones, a bit of thought's gone into them, you know, a bit of effort's gone into that. So, which is what you get when you pay a bit more for these products. I mean, whether it's worth the money, I don't know, but they put it into things like this, don't they? Presentation and stuff like that. So whether it's worth the extra expense, I don't know, but you get this bit of extra effort put in places that otherwise wouldn't have been. So, for better or worse. All right, so let's give this a bit of an open. Let's see. Try not to rip it too much. Okay, there we go. Yeah, all right. So there you go. I mean, it looks a bit like a... What's that vegetable called? I mean, it has a bit of a top. Is it asparagus? Asparagus. I'm sure it's asparagus. It has these long sticks that look like that at the top. So it looks a bit... I don't know. I'm not too convinced by the look of that. I'm glad that they've made an effort, but I think it's just too elongated to look like a Ferrero Rocher. I think it does end up looking a bit like an asparagus instead. I think these would stand up quite well. You could stand them up. Imagine if you had a lot of the milk and the dark ones as well, side by side. It would look quite good. It's a bit lopsided, but nonetheless it does stand up. And I quite like that. I like the way, even though it's labelled as an egg, they've not actually made it egg-shaped. I think they've just made it, you know, interesting. I feel it's quite interesting. I quite like the effort they've done into it. I don't think it quite works as far as the overall shape is concerned. I mean, maybe they could have just made, I mean, it would have been smaller maybe, but if they just made it an actual, rather than egg-shaped, just made it mini Ferrero Rochers, I mean, why not just do that? Yeah, in fact, why not just do mini Ferrero Rochers and sell them all year round, you know? I mean... Maybe they're trying to capture the Easter market, I don't know, but they could just do that, and maybe they will. But then at least, you know, they probably could save themselves money, or maybe put more in the pack and have them a bit smaller to actually be a bit better proportioned rather than looking a bit weird like this. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know. I think it's possibly a mistake by them on that part, really. There, I think. All right, so about a bit difficult to keep it in place to measure it. It's about 3.1 centimeters. Nice. The width around the top, around the seam, 2.2. Any other measurements? I don't think so. I mean, it's a bit hard to measure the width elsewhere because it's just where do you measure it basically. So there we go. All right, so we'll keep it there, I think. But yeah, let's have a look at it in the middle, shall we? Got my trusty knife here. We'll move these out of the way because they're just going to get in the way. So move those to one side. All right, so we'll chop it down the seam, I think, because that's going to be the likely place where things will be not quite right. But oh, there we go. Look at that! Wow, look at that. It does have a nice runny centre. You can see that, can't you? That does look nice. I mean, I think Ferrero Rochers tend to have a sort of do have a runny centre, sort of, don't they? But I think it's definitely not as pronounced as this. Yeah, but it's more slightly creamy. But yeah, quite thick chocolate as well. Now you can see there's no gappage there either. There was a seam, but there's no noticeable gappage there. Maybe slightly in here, but certainly nothing I would have said stands out as being untoward. It could be that it's not filled all the way to the top. Yeah, but it looks pretty good, that. I think you can see lots of chopped hazelnuts in there as well. No whole hazelnut though, which I think again is disappointing, and I think should really be in there for people who want mini Ferrero Rochers. Definitely more up my street. I'm not a big fan of whole hazelnuts, so I'm excited for this one. So I think we need to lift myself up, give it a taste. So let's do it. Okay then, everyone, I'm going to give these Ferrero Rocher golden eggs a taste. These are the originals, so the regular ones, not the dark or the white chocolate ones. Creamy hazelnut experience, yeah, give them a taste. There's nothing in there, as you can see. We've emptied it already. So we got one that we did sort of open before, but I'll open a new one. Give it a go from scratch. So yeah, let's do it. Let's give this a taste. Just have to give it an open first, of course. All right, here we go. We got it. So let's give it a go. Oh wow. Very nice. It's a really creamy, liquidy centre actually. Crispy as well. What did it say? Did I say there's crispy pieces in there? Hazelnut and cocoa filling. Tastes crispy, as if it's got crispy pieces in. I'm sure Ferrero Rocher do have crispy pieces in as well as the hazelnut, the chopped hazelnuts. But a nice crunch actually. Really velvety, cocoa-y centre. Nice thick chocolate as well. Bits of chopped hazelnuts. I would definitely think you're not really getting much of a hazelnut experience from this. There is a hazelnut taste, but I think the lack of a whole hazelnut definitely, I think, might affect the hazelnut fans out there who are sort of really like that part of Ferrero Rocher. I think for me, I'm not a fan of whole hazelnuts. I'm not a massive fan of chopped hazelnuts, but for me, this is very nice. Yeah, I actually quite like this a lot. It's quite a nice thick chocolate. Whether it's as nice as the other Ferrero eggs that they do, there's cocoa ones and the the hazelnut filling ones that they do, just regular sort of offshoots. I don't know where they came from, but they do other eggs as well. I don't think they contain hazelnuts, whereas these ones do. And the chocolate's thick enough as well to make a difference, but it doesn't detract too much from the sense. It's really quite well balanced actually. I don't know if it's the hazelnuts or not, but they coming across as like crispy pieces rather than hazelnuts, which is interesting, which is nice. Is what I like from chopped hazelnuts, where they're not quite as hazelnutty, basically, because I'm not a big fan of hazelnuts. So, but then people who want this probably are fans of hazelnuts, so will they appreciate that? And the centre's so cocoa-y, so rich. For me, these are nicer than Ferrero Rochers for sure, because they've got rid of the bits I'm not a big fan of hazelnut in Ferrero Rochers, such as the whole hazelnut, and perhaps too much. Well, but pretty much the whole hazelnut really, and perhaps a bit too much of other things. They've just condensed it all into a nice, neat package. Really nice, these ones. Yeah, really, really nice actually. I like these a lot. Whether they're as good as the other eggs they do, I'm not sure. I think they might not be quite as good, but there's definitely more packed in these ones. The other ones have got a bit more of a sort of a centre that's just filled with filling just filled with cream basically, or the cocoa centre, not really cream, but well, it depends which one you're going for. I have the hazelnut flavoured centre or the cocoa flavoured centre. It's a bit like a Kinder Bueno almost, the centre filling for that in one of them, and the other's got like a strong cocoa centre. This one's kind of got a bit more going on in the centre, but they are a bit more mini. The other one's a bit larger than these. I feel like these are pretty good actually. I feel like maybe a missed opportunity about the fact that they're not actually just mini Ferrero Rochers and they've packaged them as mini eggs for some reason, when they could have just sold them all year round as mini Ferrero Rochers in a pack. I think that would definitely work. But then I feel like they should have a whole hazelnut in. I think, I like it without the whole hazelnut, but I think if you're going to package something as a mini Ferrero Rocher, it really has to have a whole hazelnut in it, really. I think, or at least something, maybe half a whole hazelnut if it's too big for them, but I don't think it would be. So I'm very confused by that. I feel like that should be there, but as I say, I'm happy it isn't from my perspective because I'm not a big fan of whole hazelnuts. And as I say, I'm not a big fan of chopped hazelnuts. And in this one, the chopped hazelnuts taste more like crunchy, crispy pieces. You can sort of detect that the hazelnuts at some points, but or chopped hazelnuts. But yeah, I think this is very nice. As I said, the chocolate's quite. It's quite sort of, Belgian-y chocolate sort of thing. I mean, it might not necessarily be Belgian chocolate, but it's quite creamy. But the centre's really cocoa-y, really melts in the mouth, really liquid. It's lovely. You can see on my sort of knife here how creamy it is. I don't know if you see that there. Very creamy centre. You could see before when I opened it as well. So it really is indulgent, that. And as I say, filled with chopped hazelnuts. I think it looks okay as well. As I say, why they're not just mini Ferrero Rochers, I don't know, but there we are. But I think for me these ones are quite nice, but I think you might be disappointed, really, if you're expecting whole hazelnut in there. If you're really expecting something a bit more Ferrero Rocher-like, because as I say, without that whole hazelnut, is it really a Ferrero Rocher? And I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. There's definitely some overlap between these and the other Ferrero products that they did, those other eggs that they did. I probably would have put some link in there up in the top right corner at some point, so check it out. The eye symbol will be there. I probably would have put a link up there for maybe other Ferrero products or whatever. So worth checking those out. I think they might be better than these, but these ones are pretty good. All the same, I did enjoy them. Very indulgent, very nice. Yeah, I feel like, for me, I actually prefer them than as if they did have a whole hazelnut in, as I've said. But I think those who are Ferrero Rocher purists will be a bit disappointed with these, I think. But they're still very nice. They might appeal to a wider range of people as a result, but then if they saw they were mini Ferrero Rochers, you probably just wouldn't buy them, if you weren't into Ferrero Rochers. So I'm not sure, really. Is it a silly decision to not have put a whole hazelnut in? So yeah, so I think for me, I think I actually quite like them. I'm not marking them down because they've not got a whole hazelnut in. If they did have a whole hazelnut in, I would say they were 4.5 out of 5 for Ferrero Rocher fans. I'm not marking them down as a result of not having that whole hazelnut in, but I just feel they're not quite a 4.5 out of 5, but they're very close, certainly closer to that than the 3.5 out of 5. But for me, I think they're a 4 out of 5, but they're still very nice, very indulgent, got lots of texture and taste in there. But not quite a 4.5 out of 5. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, check out the YouTube member program. Leave a comment or free, it's always great to hear from you and always do my best to reply. Subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. Have a great day and check out my other reviews. I'm sure I'll be doing the white chocolate and dark chocolate equivalents of these as well soon. So yeah, check those out. Thanks for watching guys, take care, bye for now. See ya.